Hi there, welcome to FMCG by Alex. Today I would like to talk to you about beverages, a deep dive into the category. We start with the categories of beverages. So, first you have basically hot drinks, then soft drinks, milk drinks, and alcoholic drinks. So, those are the four categories that worldwide are used to divide beverages. Hot drinks include tea and coffee. So, tea and coffee would be both the one you buy in the supermarket, so you make it yourself at home, or the on the go one you buy in, let's say an FMB outlet, or maybe in a supermarket where you get it from a dispenser. Then soft drinks, that is includes bottled water, carbonated soft drinks, dilutables, basically that is powder that you or tablets that you put into water and it dissolves and it becomes a beverage, and of course fruit juice and nectars. Then milk drinks, which includes also yogurt drinks. And last, we have alcoholic drinks, which is beer, wine, and I think my image obscures the spirits part of it and other alcoholic beverages. So let's start by analyzing hot drinks. Hot drinks would need a heating infrastructure or hot water. So you have a lot of convenience stores in Asia, also in America, I think in Europe as well, which supply these, let's say hot beverages. So you have, for example, in the Netherlands, you have Spar City, that is a half F&B, half supermarket type of or mini market type of outlet, and they supply coffee, tea, etc. in hot form or ready to drink form. So you on the go, you get it in a paper cup and you bring it. Usually it's limited to that channel, either that or you have to go to a restaurant or a bistro or something like that. And then you sit down and you drink it. Coffee is the most consumed beverage after water on the planet. So it's really a super popular drink, coffee in all its forms. Of course, you also have iced coffee, which is a beverage that would be more into the into the soft drinks part. But you see already, it's so difficult to classify it properly, these different categories, because one of the categories that you will not see in the main uh, graphic is, for example, kombucha, which is fermented tea. Now, just to prove my point, it's difficult to put a pinpoint on it. So kombucha is actually, for preference sake, it's a soft drink. Having made the bridge to soft drinks, let's start with the analysis of soft drinks as a category. Bottled water. I've worked for a bottled water company, and one of the things that we found at that time was that you have the plant, so the factory where there is a source, a water source that you pump up the water from, let's say the well under the earth. It's mineral water, so you bottle it in a factory that is very close to the source. Now, the problem with that product is that it's very bulky, so very expensive to distribute further away. So your margin evaporates when you are, let's say, outside of the province you are taking the water from, that you sell it. That's why you see, like, for example, in a country like Indonesia. So I work for a smaller water company, but let's say the market leader in Indonesia is Danone with their brand Aqua. Aqua is tastes different in every single city that you buy it, because they have local suppliers, local wells that do OEM. So they do private label for Aqua. They bottle it for Aqua. It's in essence, a bit of a luxury problem for the company, because Aqua will not taste the same in, let's say, the north of the country than it is in the south of the country or another island. The issue with that is, it's consumers accept it or not. So, in essence, water is very subtle in taste. So, I think that is the reason why they can get away with it. And of course, there is a shortage of capacity. That's why Aqua hasn't built factories everywhere. So, Danone hasn't built factories everywhere in Indonesia. Now, soft drinks, in essence, because it also includes fruit juices, you have chilled and ambient. So, ambient means that it can actually be in room temperature conditions. You can store it, you can display it. Chilled means that you need, yeah, cold storage, so cold chain logistics. That means that inside the store you need to present it in a chiller, chiller is usually a unit that requires electricity, so it's more expensive to sell this. So in most of the traditional markets that we sold product that we wanted to have chilled. So in essence, it's not only that the products need to be chilled, but access to cold is one of the selling points of on the go selling of soft drinks. So if you look at, we'll go to milk later on, but let's say milk as well is something that you'd rather drink cold than not. So every beverage, in essence, except for hot beverages, obviously your preference would be to drink it cold. Cold, funny enough, it kills the taste, so it actually makes the taste less, prominent. It's just that whenever you do sampling for a new product, make sure it's cold. So this is actually one of the key giveaways. Basically, I'm putting out today. So chilled and ambient. So chilled means that it really needs it. It will just spoil. It will really have a very short shelf life if you don't chill it, or it will spoil actually on the road while it's going to the point of sale. Now, another trend is that it is something you will not see that much in Europe. So in Europe, you have, for example, Lipton iced tea, but in a market like Indonesia and most Asian countries, actually, you have RTD or ready to drink tea, which is tea in a bottle. So basically, iced tea. And yeah, it's a very big category. People perceive it more like used to drink a lot of soft drinks like cola and whatever soft drinks, basically with a lot of sugar, were sold. The perception is that tea is a healthier beverage. In reality, the sugar content in tea might even be higher in some cases than. The tea itself is not the problem. It's actually what they put inside the bottle with the tea. So the water with the tea. And another trend in emerging markets is powder drinks. So you used to have in the US, they used to sell these tablets that you could add to water. Then it becomes a soft drink in itself. That was really phased out in the 90s because people were not consuming it anymore. There were so many good ready to drink varieties on the market that the need to have a cheaper variety was not there, so the price difference became smaller. And in essence, the taste of a ready to drink product is superior to the powder drinks, basically. And the issue with this is twofold. Maybe in tropical countries, so countries with a warmer climate, powder drinks are still very popular, due to the fact that you can add it to a glass of cold water, you can add it to a glass of hot water, you have a cold and a hot beverage in essence. And you can store it anywhere, so it doesn't have to have special treatment. It's light, so not bulky. This is for markets that have a very strongly developed traditional market. It's a very successful product still. So think of India, think of Indonesia, think of China. It's a lot of rural markets that have this product as a very popular choice. Then I would like to highlight the problem with carbonation. So carbonation, this is the interesting part of it. So the factory I used to work for, they had both mineral water and what they called flavored water. Flavored water meaning soft drinks. We had our own soda line, so soda meaning soft drinks line. Carbonated soft drinks were all the varieties. Cola, we had a cherry flavored one, we had a white one, sparkling sort of products. Even I think a sparkling sports drink in essence. But the problem with carbonation was that the smaller you make the bottle, so we were looking at that particular moment, the margins were under pressure, so we were looking at reducing the bottle size, so to compete with some of the larger soft drinks makers in Indonesia. So you had Coca-Cola, of course, which was the number one. Pepsi is almost non-existent in Indonesia back then already. We're talking about 2015, 2016 here. And there was a very successful brand in around 2014, 2015 called Big Cola, which comes from Peru. Big Cola is what it says. They had a very big bottles, like I think 3-4 liters or something. They were selling, still around. It's just that carbonated soft drinks in itself are not that popular anymore in Indonesia. So Bicola only targeted, I think, 15 or 16 emerging markets at that time. So they had a couple of markets that they were very successful in. They were very good at taking market share from Coke and from Pepsi. The problem with it is, like, as soon as we wanted to reduce the bottle size, the carbonation will escape quicker. So you have, in essence, for a normal bottle of cola, so you're talking about a plastic bottle, a PET bottle, you will already see, if you forget about it and you leave it on your shelf in your pantry for about 6 months, all of the carbonation is gone. So the official shelf life is longer, but in essence, you should drink it within 4 or 5 months max in order to enjoy the carbonation. The smaller the bottle, so we had the sizes were smaller, so just meaning cheaper, we could be lower in price to consumers. The problem was that then carbonation time, yeah, it's already 3 months that there is no carbonation in the product anymore. So that was the problem with, yeah, product quality on soft drinks. Then we come to one of my favorite categories, because I've spent quite a lot of time working for a milk company in Indonesia. So you have ambient and chilled. So you have pasteurized milk, which is something that needs to be in a chiller. So it needs a cold chain to be sold, to be distributed, and to be sold. So it can't really be outside of the fridge or outside of the chiller. Then you have ambient. Ambient is stuff that is, let's say, UHT milk, so ultra high temperature Tetra Pak milk, basically, that is sold on a shelf. You can put it in the fridge, obviously, but that is your choice. So you can also consume it without that. After you open it, obviously, you have to put it in the fridge in order to keep it good. The thing with, yeah, pasteurized milk is, if you look at a developed market like the Netherlands, where we drink probably, yeah, maybe milk consumption not the highest in the world, but one of the highest milk consumptions in the world, we mainly drink pasteurized milk. So UHT milk exists here, but pasteurized milk, I think, is the largest category still, mainly because, yeah, distribution is very easy. People are used to the taste. If you look at UHT milk has a little bit of a burnt taste, not in a negative way. It's just a matter of, like, you're used to it or not, in that sense. There's nothing wrong with the milk. It's the same. Um, it's just when you can keep it outside of the fridge for a longer period of time, and especially Tetra Pak packaging, it has 7 layers of protection, so it protects from UV rays, etc. It keeps things good for a long time. Not only milk, but a lot of other products in Tetra Pak, of course, including wine, including sauces, etc. The thing with milk in Tetra Pak is, of course, yeah, if you can keep it good for a long time, let's say up to a year, you can ship it to every corner of, let's say, a big country like Indonesia. So there's no reason that, it can't. It shouldn't be in a container for, let's say, 3 4 weeks on end to ship to a very far corner of the country. So that's the reason why, yeah, let's say ambient is very popular in those markets, and let's say chilled is more popular in markets maybe like Singapore and the Netherlands, which are relatively small countries with a very efficient distribution network, where you can get anything to anyone in a couple of hours. Then milk drinks are also going into, yeah, like a healthy lifestyle. So you have a couple of these fermented milk drinks that are very functional drinks, also, like, which are very popular at this moment. We're very increasing in popularity. Then another thing that is very popular is yogurt drinks. So there's certain markets where it's more popular than other markets, but innovation, yeah, is also at the core of milk drinks, milk-based drinks. Yogurt drinks, for example, in Indonesia, there's a company called Cimori, which is, let's say, a pioneer in this category. There are a couple of other players, obviously, but um, the thing is that in the 90s, the company I used to work for, Ultrajaya, they also launched a yogurt product, but I think the market was not ready back then. It was quite a good product, I heard. I haven't been able to taste it, unfortunately. I wasn't working there at that time. But again, ahead of his time. So sometimes, being innovative pays off, and sometimes, yeah, you are just too early. We come to the last category, which I also have quite a lot of experience with, alcoholic drinks. Depending on the market, you really need a permit. So Indonesia, for example, is very much regulated. The Netherlands, much less. There, the difference is it's not 5%, but 15% is the cutoff. So under 15%, they call it weak alcoholic, and above 15%, they call it strong alcoholic. So anything under 15% can be sold in mass market channels. So you call it liquor, you call it beer, beer infused with something. At above 15%, they call it like really strong liquor, basically, where you need to go to an off license, so really special license store, specialty store. So these are examples of permits that are needed. So a supermarket in the Netherlands cannot sell spirits that are 15% or up, or above 15%, 15.1 and up. In Indonesia, that is 5%. So 5% is the what they call golongan A, which is the layer A basically, and 5% under 5% is considered the let's say the lowest category of alcoholic drinks. So in every country it's different. Now, alcoholic drinks are typified by high margins, but the channels are limited. So if you look at beer in a country like the Netherlands or in a market like Europe or America, it's a mass market product. You can find it in the supermarket, you can find it anywhere. If you go to a country like Indonesia or let's say any Muslim country, it is more regulated, more limited towards what kind of channels you can sell it in. Like I said, strong alcoholic products are of course very limited in the way they are distributed, limited channels. Margins are very high, but again, in Europe it's a beverage. In Asia, it already starts to become a trading item where a lot of, let's say, it has the air of criminality. So a lot of companies that have activities in very dubious circles, they also dabble into this because there are a lot of people who would like to sell it who are not allowed to sell it, and they can't get it through the legal means, or they are not willing to pay the very high duties on it, basically very high taxes, and they're trying to get the product in a different way. So that is the reason why a lot of these elements are dabbling into alcoholic beverage distribution in countries where it's restricted. So low alcoholic drinks there are theoretically mass market, but still sold in a specific area in the supermarket. Then we come to some tips on marketing non-alcoholic drinks. First of all, availability is the key success factor. So distribution. Make sure your product is broadly available in every outlet. That will drive consumption. Secondly, innovation is at its core. So it's really a moving market, a market that is constantly launching new varieties of products, new flavors, new combinations of different beverages. The move is towards health, or the movement is towards health. You see, in Indonesia, it used to be a very good market for soft drinks, for carbonated soft drinks. The perception was that carbonated soft drinks are loaded with sugar and therefore not good for you. Therefore, it became ready to drink tea. But again, Indonesians are very sweet people, so they like very sweet, ready to drink tea. So, how much sugar is actually in carbonated soft drinks versus RTDT, you can argue whether there's a difference, but at least the perception, or the general perception, is that it's becomes more important to think about health. That's why also you see things like kombucha coming up, and various products that are really more aimed towards being healthy alternatives to traditional beverage choices. Then branding and awareness are very important. It sounds a bit like no brainer, but if you look at a mass market product, so you can have the best product in the world, if nobody knows about it, it's available everywhere. It's a bit of a chicken and the egg, so make it available everywhere, but you need to tell people about it as well. So branding and awareness, this is usually where the biggest advertising budgets are invested. Then I assume you would also like to know about how to market alcoholic drinks. First of all, branding and positioning is very important. So you have to stay within the legal framework of the country. So the rules of the country are very important. So Indonesia and the Netherlands, for example, have completely different rules on the subject. Second thing that is very important is consistent quality. Now, it sounds like, again, a no brainer, but consistent quality is a real problem in manufacturing of alcoholic beverages. So, there is a process where it's the production process, and then you have the transportation. So, the transportation is already where maybe the temperature is different or sunlight is making a difference in the quality of the product, but at the production level as well. So every batch that is made, no doubt, will taste different than the previous batch. What they normally do is, the big ones that can afford it, they take a little bit of the batch that is already made, and they add it to the batch that is already made, that is made new. So the taste changes maybe a little bit, but not too much. You see, with regards to beer, there is, quite a lot of examples with craft beer, for example, that the quality, or let's say, not so, maybe not so much the quality implies there is not something wrong with the beer, but just the taste is different. So it's a taste difference that is upsetting customers. They say, imagine if you buy a can of Coca-Cola, and one time it tastes sour and the other time it tastes sweet, and you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, will you buy the product again in the shop? That is the big question. Now, the same thing goes for alcoholic beverages. So this is the thing that really is, a big issue for these manufacturers. The smaller manufacturers there, they can't really do much about it. So the charm might also be in that fact that it's subtle differences are there. It's not water, so it definitely matters. Then, last but not least, the distribution. So distribution, again, sounds like a no-brainer, but low alcoholic drinks like beer, they have distribution as a key success factor. So availability in more places means you are controlling shelf space, you're controlling distribution points. If you look at high alcoholic drinks or strong alcoholic drinks like spirits, maybe some wine. Wine is usually also still safe on the alcoholic to qualify as a low alcoholic drink in most countries. But if you look at those places, it's the place you sell it. So distribution, meaning it has to be in line with the expectation of the customer, where to find it. So in essence, you have a number of wine merchants. Wine merchants already have an air of quality. It's a specialty shop, that sort of stuff. So if you have a wine merchant selling your wine, that is definitely a distribution point where you say, okay, it oozes premium, as opposed to supermarket where you have very cheap wine in the shelf. And cheap wine, it can taste quite nice. I've been told, but it's a different image than a specialty wine. So it depends a little bit on what you're looking at, volume or the air of quality. The thing with wine is also that it is limited. So beer you can make as much as possible as long as you have the ingredients. Ingredients are not in any shortage. Wine normally is, depending on the grape harvest of that year, and more sunshine means that the alcohol percentage goes up. So there can be good years in wine, there can be bad years in wine. I'm not trying to was it summarize a wine course here, but I mean this is something that can really, that's why I think vintage years are very important in wine. And that's the issue. Now, there, last but not least, I want to highlight the differences in prices. So, why can supermarket wine be sold for, let's say, 4 or 5 euros? Why are some wines that are maybe grown on smaller farms in Europe maybe more expensive? Now, supermarket wine can come from places like South Africa. Square kilometer of land in South Africa, square mile of land in South Africa can is cost less than, let's say, a square mile of land in the Netherlands or in another country in Europe. So France, of course, has a very strong wine culture, Italian wine. That's basically the countries that are very famous for it. Price of land, price of labor, it all factors into it. And then, of course, shipping it from South Africa to, let's say, the Netherlands, that makes a big difference. But still can be much cheaper and be sold at that low price in supermarkets. So, just the reason why there's such a difference. Now, should you really go for mass market, yeah, then of course price is a very important driver. If you look at building a brand, then yeah, maybe the origin story of the brand is very important. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to email me, alex at devriessalesconsultancy.com. Would like to ask you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, and I'll see you in the next video.